Hello everyone, welcome to 1045 Engineering. We are here with yet another video in our Mastering Data Structures and Algorithm in Java coding series. Okay, so this video is the second part for the data structure arrays. We'll be solving few of the coding questions. For the implementation side, please watch the part 1. Okay, this is not to teach coding because for coding we have the complete grind 75 coding series for beginner, intermediate, advanced. This one is to give you a better understanding of the arrays that we discussed in part 1. So part 1 we discussed the fundamentals. Now we'll just practice some examples on arrays and then understand how it works. Okay. So we have chosen few of the examples. As you can see, first one, let's go with to check if an array is in ascending order or not. So already existing array, it is in ascending order or not. Now before we go on to solve this, please take a minute and just think how we are going to work on it. Okay, so let's get started. We have the array. Let's take directly the second example. First, let's take the first and second both. 1 2 3 4 5 5 3 8 9 10. Okay, so we have two arrays. I'll say okay, 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, and then we have another array, that is 5 3 8 9 and 10. Okay, now in order to check, we have to check whether they are in ascending order or not. Ascending order is something like this: 1 2 3 4 5. So the next number is always bigger than the previous number and smaller than the next number. So this is ascending order. Now we want to check if a given array is in ascending order or not. Like, we'll go through an example for this one. Okay, we know the index always starts here at the index 0. I'll write the indexes here. So index 0 is here, 1 2 3 and 4. Now what we can do is, in the simplest of solutions, what we can do is, we'll compare that at every point one element should be smaller than the element at the next index. So let's say if we have I equal to 0, I as the pointer for index is pointing here. Okay, so we'll compare the first element, that would be, let's say the array is nums, so that will be nums of I, that is equal to nums of 0, since I is pointing to 0. So if you want to compare this element with the next element, how can we compare that? We can simply compare that saying nums of I is less than nums of I plus 1. Okay, now how pointer moves is, I is still pointing at the 0th index. So when we do nums of I, here we get 5. But then this one is nums of I plus 1. So I is 0, 0 plus 1 is 1. So this one is equal to nums of 1, index 1, which is on first index. So index starts from 0. On first index we have 3. So this will be less than 3. Now, is 5 less than 3? No, right? So is this sorted? False. So the moment we find that this condition does not match, even if, let's say, after this the array was something like this, 5 3, and then it was 4 5 6 7, all these values are sorted, but since this one was not sorted, so completely this is not an ascending array. Correct? Now let's try to form a solution for this. Okay, I really need to find a way to delete this faster. Maybe I'll learn it before the next video. Okay, but for this one, please bear with me. Okay, so what we can do is, we'll run a for loop. Okay, very simple. Now we want to compare each element with the next one, or each element with the previous one, right? Either we say, if I is here, okay, let's remove this. Okay, let's say I'm saying I is pointing here. So I can say nums of I is less than, should be less than nums of I plus 1, right? Correct. If we are but if we are keeping this condition, we should let our I only go till third index, right? Because then when we do I plus 1, this will have nums of fourth pointing to the fourth index. If we let our I go till the fourth index, doing nums of I plus 1 would be fifth index, which does not exist here, and it will be array index out of bounds, right? So one more way to do it is, again, same thing, right? Let's point I to the first index, and then every time compare if array of I is greater than array of I minus 1. So this is array of I pointing to the first index, so this is equal to array of 1 greater than array of I minus 1. So 1 minus 1 is 0, so array of 0. Array of 1 is 3 greater than 5. Is it greater than 5? No, right? Then false. But when we are actually coding for it, why will we check the true condition always? We should directly find the false condition, and the moment we find the false condition, we should mark it, right? So let's understand this from example. So we'll say for int I is equal to 1, we'll start from the first, I less than array dot length, because now since I is starting to first, we can actually go till the array length. Array length will be 1 2 3 4 5, but we are saying I less than array length, so I can only go till 4, it cannot even go to 5. I plus plus, and then simply we can say if. Now we'll search for first false condition. The moment we have a false condition, we'll return, because if we compare this one, all the conditions are true, right? But the moment if we have found the first false condition, why to check for the rest of the array? First false condition means that the array is not sorted in ascending order, so directly find the false condition. So we'll say if array of I would be 3 in this case, since I is equal to 1, array of I is less than array of I minus 1. Okay, now we are checking for reverse. So if it ever happens that array of I, so the next number, is smaller than the previous number, that means previous number is bigger, that means it's not in ascending order, correct? So we can simply say if this happens, we'll simply return from here, return false, right? Otherwise in the end return true. Okay, so now what happens? I is equal to 1, I less than array dot length, so I is going to run till I less than 5, so I will only run till 0 1 2 3 1 2 3 4, since we are not considering 0. So array of I, that is 3, is less than array of I minus 1, that is 0. Yes, this condition is true. 3 is less than 5, but this should not be the case for ascending order. So if this condition is true, we return false, so it is not in ascending order. But if we consider this case, here we have I, so array of I is less than array of I minus 1. 2 is less than 1? No, so it will not enter this loop, right? So return true should not be here, return true would be outside the for loop, return true. So I is not less than 1, sorry, 2 is not less than 1, I plus plus, it moves to 3. Now we'll compare array of I, that is 3 is less than array of I minus 1, 2? No. I plus plus, the code does not enter here at all, and similarly 4 is not less than 3, 5 is not less than 4. Once the complete for loop is completed, we come out and we return true, that yes, it is sorted in ascending order. Okay, so let's code it quickly and then move to the next problem. Okay, so let's create another class for this. Let's create another class, let's call it arrays 01. or okay, array is sorted, right? We have the class. We'll create our main method, public static void main, string arguments. This is the basic code that we always write, the main method. Now we'll initialize the arrays. Int array1 is equal to 1 2 3 4 5 5. Similarly, we'll have the other array2 is equal to the value is, let's get the value, 5 3 8 9 10. Okay, 5 3 8 9 10. Okay, now before printing anything, let's create our main method. Let's create a method for actually sorting these. So we'll call public static boolean is sorted, because we only have to return true or false, right? We'll take the input parameter int array, and here we are just going to say system.out.println. We'll call is array1 sorted. So we'll call is sorted, we'll pass array1, right? And similarly we'll copy paste, we'll pass the second array2. Okay, so this should return true, this one should return false. This one is not sorted, this is sorted. Now let's create the code for sorting as discussed, right? We'll run a for loop. Int I is equal to 1, I is less than array dot length I plus plus. Okay, now if array of I is less than array of I minus 1, we are starting the I from 1, right? So we have I minus 1 0, that is a valid. Okay, if array of I is less than array of I minus 1, like in this case, if 2 is less than 1, that is not happening, right? But is 3 less than 5? Yes, it is happening. So this is not sorted, so we'll directly return the answer from here, return false, it is not sorted. But if in the end of the for loop we never return false, after the end we can simply say return true. Okay, let's run it. Okay, first array, is it sorted? True. Second array, is it sorted? False, right? So we are good here. Now let's check the second example. In this one we have to find out if there are duplicates in our sorted array. So the given array is already sorted, we have to remove the duplicates from it. Okay, let's jump to the solution here. Eraser, yes, it is still not that slow, but still I have to find out a way that I can delete it directly, and not like Control Z but the clear one. So I'll find it before the next video. Okay, yeah, so let's see, the example is 1 1 2 2 2 3 4 5 5. Okay, so the example is 1 1 2 2 2 3 4 5 5. Okay, this is our input array. Now what we have to do is, we have to, if you see, this first thing is this array is sorted, right? Every next number is bigger than or equal to, but there are duplicates. So after 1 we have a 1, 2 we have 3 2s, 1 3 4 2 5s, and what we want as our output is 1 2 3 4 5. So what are we going to do? Now please take a minute and think of an approach that you would take. You can solve it in multiple ways. You can actually create another array. Okay, you can create another array, and then one by one you copy the first element. Then when you find an element bigger than this element, now this one is not bigger, since it's duplicate, you find 2, you copy 2, then you compare 2 and find an element bigger than 2. This is not bigger than 2, this is not bigger than 2, you get 3. You copy 3, then you copy 4, and similarly you copy 5, right? But then thing is, you do not know the size for the solution array, but you can fill the rest of the parts as 0 and you can remember this index. But since we can already remember this index, so why not do it in the same array? Why create another array, right? So what we can do is, we can go like this, that we have this array 1 1 2 2 2 3 4 5 5. Okay, we'll run 2 pointers. One is I, and similarly we'll create one more. What we'll do is, we'll keep, let's say we have this j pointer pointing here, okay, and then we have the I pointer starting from this position. We'll compare if this is not equal to this, because we already know they are sorted, okay. If this element is not equal to this element, that means this element is different and this element already comes next to it, right? So if this element is not equal to this element, so first element would already be part of the solution. We have to form the solution. We are doing in position, okay. I'll remove it from here and I'll say I pointing to, not this one, I pointing to second one, okay. Indexes are 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, okay. So if this one is not equal to 1, we'll increase the j to next one and we'll copy it, okay. So what will happen to the solution? First one we'll keep as it is. We'll start the for loop from this one, okay. We'll compare. If let's call this nums, okay. So we'll say if nums of I is not equal to nums of j. So if it is not equal to, that means we have found a non-duplicate number. So what we'll do is, we'll copy it to next one. So nums of j is equal to nums of I. Now please pay attention that the array is only one, but we are using two different indexes. There is a separate j index that is right now pointing to the 0th index, and I index that is pointing to the first index. We are saying if nums of I is not equal to nums of j. So in this case, and let's run it in a for loop, right? We'll call it int I is equal to 1, I is less than array dot length, sorry, not array, nums, since the array name is nums, so array name dot length I plus plus, right? Now array of I, that is this one is not equal to nums of j, 1, no, they are equal, right? So the loop does not enter this part of the code, but then I plus plus, so I moves to the next one. Now is nums of I, that is same array, but I value is 2 now, right? I is pointing to second pointer. So nums of 2, that is 2, is not equal to nums of j, but j is pointing to 0th index, right? That is correct. It is not, they are not equal. 2 is not equal to 1, right? So we want to copy, but we'll do one thing. So what we'll do next is, we'll do j plus plus. So j will move to next index, okay. We already had one here. Now this one will get replaced by, we'll say nums of j is equal to nums of I. So we'll copy this value 2 to here. So nums of j, that is j plus plus, so j is equal to 1 now, so we'll get 2 here, right? Now j is pointing here, I is still pointing here, and nums of j is equal to nums of I. Again I plus plus, I moves to next 2, but j is still pointing here, right, at this index, and I is pointing at this index. Nums of I is not equal to nums of j, no, they are equal, right? So loop does not enter this code. Again I plus plus, I moves here to third, Now we are not creating another array. Okay, this one I am writing as a solution array, but this is not another array. What's happening here is, just for understanding, I'll create it again. What's happening is, we have the initial array only 1 1 2 2 2 3 4 5 5. We didn't touch the first value, so first value was 1 already, but then we made one change, so this 2 was copied to this position, right? So this one was removed and 2 got copied here. Now j is pointing here and I is pointing to this 2. Now this 2, is it same as nums of I is not equal to nums of j? No, they are equal, right? Because in nums of j we have 2, in nums of I we have 2, right? Loop does not enter I plus plus. Then I move to this part 3. Now nums of I is not equal to nums of j, correct? 3 is not equal to 2. Now in the next position we want 3. So what do we do? First we increment j. So j comes to this part, and then we say nums of j is equal to nums of I. So nums of j, that means j is equal to 0 1 2. So on this index we'll get the value from nums of I. I is already pointing to here. So 3 value will paste it here. So we'll remove this 2 and 3 will come here. This has not been touched. Okay. Now again I plus plus, I moves to next. We say nums of I not equal to nums of j. 4 is not equal to 3. That is true. Again j plus plus, so j comes to this part. We remove this and 4 is copied here. Then again I plus plus from here and moves to 5. Now nums of I not equal to nums of j, correct? So again we move j to here and we copy 5 here, right? Then again I plus plus, I moves to the last one. I was here, I moves to the last one. 5 not equal to nums of j, no, 5 is equal to 5, right? So it does not enter this loop, but then I will get the value 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. 8, I will get the value 8. 8 is not less than nums dot length, that is 8. Sorry, I will get the value 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. I will get the value 9. 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So at this 5 I value was equal to 8, but then I plus plus, I reached the value 9. Array length is already equal to 9. 9 is not less than 9, right? So loop breaks here and we come out of the loop. Now if you see, our final array looks something like this: 1 2 3 4 5 3 4 5 5, right? Now we have not removed them, we made the changes in the array itself. So what we can do, we can actually remember the index for this and we can return the index. So if this is the array, right, it starts from index 0 goes till index 8. If I give you the index 0 and 4, you will have the array 0 1 2 3 4. You can access these elements. I am telling you this is your solution. Okay. If I give you the indexes that please check index 6 and 7, you'll check from 5 6, 6th index till 7th index, right? So in this solution, when we want to print the solution in the end, we don't have to make the changes. We can just remember this index and only print till this value, right? Now how will we remember this index? We have this index in j because j is already pointing to it. So we can return j, or for simplicity we can return j plus 1, so that next time we'll directly do less than length of the array. So whether you return j or you return j plus 1, you can make the correction while printing it. Okay, so let's solve it in the code and see the answer. Okay, let's create another class. We'll call it arrays duplicate. Okay, public static void main string arguments, and what do we want? Int nums 1 1 2 2 2 3 4 5 no 4 5 5. Right now we'll create another method for solving the problem. Public static, you know why we create the static method, right? So that you do not have to create an object and you can directly call the method. Remove duplicates, we'll pass the array int nums. Okay, we'll solve it. Now here we'll say we'll come to this part. Okay, first let's solve it here. So we'll say if nums dot length is equal to 0. So this is the base condition check. If the array length is already 0, we don't have to check anything, right? We can simply return 0. That's it. Otherwise, we'll create our index int j, give it the value 0, and then we'll run the for loop as discussed. Int I is equal to 1, I is less than nums dot length I plus plus. Okay. Now if nums of I is not equal to nums of j as discussed, that means we have found a non-duplicate number. So we'll do j plus plus, and nums of j. If you are having difficulty understanding this part, you can go back a little and understand where we are solving it here, right? Now nums of j is equal to nums of I, so we'll copy the value from I to j, and in the end j will have the final index, so we can say return j, or I'll return j plus 1. Okay, now let's see. So since we are not, and we are making the changes in the same array, so we are not copying the array, creating another array, so changes will be in the same array. We'll just get a new length, so we'll say new length is equal to remove duplicates, pass the array, and then we can say system.out.println. Let's first just print the new length after removing duplicates. Okay, and plus new length. Okay, good. Now let's print the array. For printing the array, we'll say int I is equal to 0, normal for loop as we saw in the last videos as well. I less than new length. Now we are not doing nums dot length, but we are doing new length, whatever new length that we are getting. If you concentrate, the new length that we will be receiving would be till 1 2 3 4 5. Why 5 would be the new length? Because value of j is 0 1 2 3 4 and array length would be 5, so that's why we return j plus 1. If we return only j, here, you can actually make it I less than equal to. Okay, but we return j plus 1, so that j was the index, length is j plus 1. Okay, and then I plus plus, let's print system.out.print nums of I. Okay, let's run it. What did we miss? I think we missed something somewhere. Line number 19 it says. What did we miss here? Int nums. No, I don't think we are missing anything. Where are we missing something? Int typo in the word nums. No, that does not matter. Comma. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5, the number is sorted. Okay, now let's just quickly solve the last problem. Again, this one is on the character array. So instead, just like we discussed, right, the array is of same type of element. So it can be of strings, it can be of characters, it can be of floats, integers, and likewise. Plus it can be of objects as well. You can create an array of similar kind of data types. Okay, so let's understand this problem. What we have to do is we have to reverse a string from the given character array. Also we have to reverse it in the same place. Okay, let's quickly understand it. Okay, maybe instead of deleting every time, what I can do is I can shrink this. Okay, this could have worked. Okay, nice. So I can actually solve here now. Okay, let's see. We have hello, so we have the array, we have the array h e l l o, right? And how will we wait, what was it, h e l l o? Okay, hello, why do we have hello? Okay, okay. Sorry, so we have to solve for hello. Let's see, we have the hello. Okay, now we want to reverse this. Sorry, I was getting confused. So input is, why it is typing lighter, input is hello, and output should be OLLEH, right? Now first thing is for you guys to notice is, you see we used to declare integers like int, brackets for the array, array name, and then values. For character it's just char, brackets for the array, array name. So in this case the character array name is input, and then values, that is hello. Since they are characters, they are in quotes. Okay, so what can we do? Let's do it here. We have h e l l o. The one thing we can do is we can actually swap them, right? So we start traversing from this side. Okay, you can either start traversing from this side, or you can start traversing from this side, any end. You can use a for loop, or you can use a while loop, anything. Okay, but you can best would be that we are keeping 2 pointers. Okay, so I'll say we have one pointer here, let's call it left pointer, and we have another pointer here, let's call it right pointer. So all we are going to do is we are going to swap these two values. So h should come here after first iteration, and o should come here. So after first iteration it should look like o e l l h, and then since we have made one move, we'll do left plus plus. So left will point to the next one, right will point to the next one, then e and l will get swapped, right? So after second iteration it would look something like 0 l l e h. Now after this, left will plus plus and right will minus minus. But now they have reached a value, right? We don't need to swap any further. We don't need to go for left to this end and right to this end. So we can keep a blocker that left should always be less than right, right? We can type it something like this. Okay, we'll do a while loop. So it's a very simple problem actually. We'll do it like this. Okay, we'll say we'll initialize int left is equal to 0, and we'll initialize right as the array length. So whatever is the array name or the string name, let's like s, array length minus 1. Okay, because array length is 1 2 3 4 5, but the index is always starts from 0, right? 0 1 2 3 4, so we should give it 4. So length minus 1. So right is pointing to 4th index, left is pointing to 0th index, and then we can say while left is less than right. We are using a while loop, and again a while breaking condition, while left is less than right. So because once left is equal to right or left is greater than right, we have to stop, right? So left is less than right, and now we want to swap them, correct? How will we swap? Means we can copy 0 to this one, but then h will be lost. We copy h to 0, h to o, then o will be lost. So we need a temporary character. So we'll say char temporary. First we'll copy s dot left. So s is the new array name that we have given. Okay, so s dot left is at 0, so h will be copied to temp. Okay, so I'll say temp is here, temp will get the value h. Now we have made a copy of h, so I can simply say s dot left is equal to s of right. So o is copied to h, and now to copy here I want to copy h here, right? Because now this one has been replaced to o. Now I want h here, h is in temp, so I can say s of right is equal to temp. So temp will copy this h to here, and it will become h. Okay, now this is done. What should have to happen after this? Now after this, left pointer should move forward, and right pointer should move backward. So we'll say left plus plus and right minus minus, correct? We'll end this while loop. That's all. This is the solution. Okay, so let's quickly solve it and then check for the answer. Okay, we need to create another class. We'll say arrays reverse. Okay, public static void main string args. Okay, we have the character array. Input is equal to h. It's so difficult typing fast, this one. HEL L O. Okay, now we already know how we are going to solve it. So we'll first have, let's print the correct one. System.out.print. We'll say original array. Okay, we can print it in a for loop, but since this array is already of type string, HELLO will form the string, right? So we don't need to print in a for loop one by one. We can directly use the string function. I'm going to use the string function, but please you can use the for loop as well. String dot value of input. Okay, so this way we can directly print the array. If we run it right now, we can see hello, right? Now then we'll reverse it. So let's create a method to reverse this. So we'll say public static void reverse, because we are not going to return anything, that's why void string. Will pass character, will call the character, what should we call the array? We can call it input array only. Okay then. Okay, so we'll initialize the pointers. Int left is equal to 0, or one second, since what were we calling it? We were calling it s. Let's call it s only. Okay, so we can say character s. Okay, so int left is equal to 0, left pointer. Int right is equal to s dot length minus 1, right pointer. Now while left is less than right, we are going to swap them. So char temp is equal to s of left, and now since s of left value has already been copied, we can say s of left is equal to s of right, and s of right will get the value from temp. This is done. We'll move the pointers, so left plus plus, left plus plus, right minus minus. Okay, that's it. Why there's an underline? Reassign local variable. When did I reassign? S of left, there is only one. Okay, we are changing the values here, but not for the pointers. Okay, this one. Let's see. So I'll call my method, that is reverse string, pass the input array. So one more thing is, you can call the array, pass the array by name here, but here you can give any name. Okay, I hope that is already understandable. So we'll print it again, system.out.println reversed array will print the same array again, string dot value of input. Oh, forget the plus sign. Okay, let's run. Okay, we have the input array and the reversed array. Okay, I hope this was clear to everyone, but just in case if arrays are still not clear to you, or if you have any doubts, please let me know in the comment section, and I'll be happy to either create another video or discuss with you in the comments. Okay, thank you everyone. Please like, share and subscribe.